Hello, everyone. It is Thursday, August 22nd. Welcome back to the breakdown. We're going to talk about all 10 games on the MLB slate today. And do just that. We're going to break them down. Got a couple early starts, talk about the pitching, talk about how the teams are hitting, and everything in between. We'll give out a bunch of picks, leans, predictions, and things like that. And then we wrap up the video, talk about a bunch of hitters. Some guys that are swinging hot bats, cold bats, some guys in good and bad matchups versus their respective pitchers today. As always, if this is your first time, my name is Austin from Calling Our Shot. Appreciate you for tuning in. We do these videos every Monday through Friday. So do me a favor, go down below, hit that subscribe button, drop a like. If you want all my best bets, number one, you can either sign up for DubClub, which there's a link at the top of the description. It's only $5.99 a month. And if you use that link, you buy 3 months, you get one free. Carry you all throughout pretty much the rest of the year, which is pretty cool. Carry you in the NFL and NBA seasons, which we do a bunch of picks there. And of course, or you can wait for the best bets video, which will drop after this one with all our official picks. We've got 3 straight winning days. Going for a 4th straight today on a shorter slate, 10 games. Let's dive into the picks. Guardians and Yankees, the first game on the slate. We have Gavin Williams going up against Garrett Cole. Now, Garrett Cole's been pretty good since, his skipped start or whatever due to body fatigue. He's been pretty solid. Gavin Williams, not my favorite pitcher for the Guardians. Yesterday, obviously a big Yankees victory, but they won that one like 8-1 or something like that. Really broke it open with a Juan Soto cheesy double down the line. Ended up getting caught between second and third, but they were up 7-0, so they absolutely smoked them. Again, I'd probably back the Yankees, but I feel like this is probably a closer game here. I feel like the Guardians have been a little bit better versus right-handed pitching than left-handed pitching. Now, their stats don't really show it, but I feel like they'll show up here today. Coming off a blowout, lost 8-1. I feel like they show up a little bit against Garrett Cole. Feels like one of those guys that maybe you're seeing a bum on the mound, but a guy like Garrett Cole, I feel like those guys will show up. But worth noting, Steven Kwan isn't really swinging a hot bat. Jose Ramirez does have decent splits versus Cole. Josh Naylor has like 3 homers against him. Not a great batting average, but solid home run numbers. I feel like they show up. I don't know. Call me crazy. Yankees have been really good, though. I wouldn't be shocked if Gavin Williams walks Juan Soto and Aaron Judge today. That's my not-so-bold prediction. He does tend to struggle with some walks here and there. Again, I do lean the Yankees here. I do actually lean kind of an over here. I think you get runs from both sides, Guardians and the Yankees. I think scoring Gavin Williams. I feel like this is probably a 5-4 final score type thing. And not my favorite game that I'll probably have any picks in, but I do think that the Guardians can at least get something going against Garrett Cole. And the Yankees bullpen, as we talked about, hasn't really been that good recently. Next game, we have Rockies on Nationals. Could this be the first time in this series where we see a game go over? Well, you got Patrick Corbin and Cal Quantrill on the mound. If it's going to go over, now's the time, because obviously Patrick Corbin's not great. Cal Quantrill is not great either. This is the first time I've seen a Corbin with a 17.5 outs line. I was looking at that. I was like, oh, he never gets 17.5, but it is the Rockies. That's the Rockies tax in there. They are terrible, but they've been all right against lefties recently. Didn't get anything going against Mitchell Parker yesterday, who pitches a lot better at home than he does on the road. Obviously, they're at home here. Cal Quantrill, I feel like he's the guy that he's kind of fallen off a cliff. I mean, I could look at what he's done recently. I feel like he had some good starts in there in the season, but since he's just been bad. 5.1 ERA on the road. His last few starts, we're looking at 3-3, 7-2, 3-5 earned runs. Granted, he has faced the Padres twice in a row. That's obviously a tough matchup. Nats have the ability to put up runs here. I think this, I'm not sure I'll take the over here, but I might. I mean, the Nationals' first in bullpen ERA is kind of scaring me off and over. I still don't think their bullpen is first quality, but hey, they've been pitching well, so you got to tip your cap to them. I don't know if I'll be on an over in this game. I kind of like it because I think Cal can give up 3. I think Corbin can give up 3 himself, and then you get to the bullpens, and Colorado's bullpen's not great. And also, you look at the Nationals bullpen, I just don't think is as good. But I mean, like I said, 3-1 first game, 6-1 yesterday. I feel like eventually one game in a series is going to go over. If we look at runners in scoring position, the first game, let's see, the Rockies went 3 for 10, so they're combined 3 for 17. Last night, when obviously the Nationals were able to put up some runs, a lot of them in that third inning, still the Nationals, what did they go? 4 for 11 runners in scoring position, so 4 for 17. So you're looking at 2 games where they went 3 for 17 and then 4 for 17. So there have been the base runners. Maybe today is the day that we see this game go over. Maybe I'll be on it. I have to look a little bit more into Cal Quantrill and things like that. I mean, let's do a little bit of research with y'all. I mean, that's the whole point of these videos. I know Cal Quantrill, let's see, runners in scoring position, he's allowing a 204 batting average, 182 with 2 outs. So he's been good getting those timely outs. I know for a fact Patrick Corbin has not been good at getting the timely outs. I mean, Patrick Corbin struggles to get any outs in general, but runners in scoring position, he's allowing a 324, 377 with 2 outs. So maybe today is the day that we see some runs put up on the board today. I mean, they've had the chances this series. Maybe today's that day. So we'll see if I go into that game. Not sure again, but something I'm looking at. Next game, we have the Brewers taking on the Cardinals. If I see one more Miles Michaelis fade, I might think he might throw a no-hitter today. I would. I mean, I've already logged on and see Brewer. I go onto my Twitter feed and I see Miles Michaelis's unders and everything negative, overs and earned runs, Brewers team total over first 5 and things like that. Michaelis is not a guy that I would be like. Sometimes I see those and I'm like, I want to fade that because I'm like, that's square. However, Michaelis kind of sucks, so it's like I don't think I want to be fading the squares out there on a guy like Miles Michaelis who just has not had a good year. But I do think this could be a spot he pitches decently in. I mean, we'll look at who was the guy yesterday that Max Fried. Let's talk about him. Now, Max Fried and Miles Michaelis much different, but in terms of they'd really struggled against their opposition. Fried had struggled against the Brewers, or not against the Brewers, against the Phillies a bunch. Pitched really well yesterday. Michaelis has struggled against the Brewers this season. Could he pitch well today? Maybe. Obviously, the Cardinals won yesterday on a walk-off grand slam. I don't know. Wouldn't shock me if this game does go under. I'm not sure I want to step in front of the Miles Michaelis buzzsaw. He's just not good. He hangs so many pitches in the middle of the zone. It's like, what are you doing, dude? But he's going to have to get timely outs. That's what that's going to come down to. Can Michaelis pitch around the singles and the doubles and stuff he gives up? That's where that game is decided. Based on the pricing, I feel like he does. But again, I'm probably not touching that game. Next game, we have Tigers versus Cubs. I don't know why the Tigers refused to list a starting pitcher for us, but it projects to maybe be Kiter Montero, who hasn't been great. Had a good start against the Yanks, but hasn't been great outside of that. Justin Steele, I've already seen everyone on his over and outs, which I don't hate that one. Detroit has been a sneaky, decent team against a left-handed pitching, and they do have some guys in that lineup that are now pretty annoying to face. I mean, you got Riley Green. He takes a lot of pitches per plate appearance. Kerry Carpenter is a lefty, so who knows if he's in the lineup against another lefty. Spencer Torkelson, who we'll talk about later on in this video, he's been swinging a hot bat since coming back from AAA. Not a surprise to see the Cubs as big favorites here, minus 200. Still a 7.5 total, barely, plus money on the run line. The Cubs, I just don't know how anyone want to back them. They've just been terrible against righties. I just can't give out picks in this series because I don't know who the heck the Tigers are starting until like 6 p.m. They don't ever list it. Now, today you have earlier. It's 2:20 Wrigley Day game. Probably count me out though. I don't really want to touch this, although I don't mind the steal outs thing, but Tigers are a team that can be annoying. I'm not saying they put up a lot of runs on Steele, but sometimes Steele can be pretty inefficient, and maybe they'll get some things going. Speaking of a game that maybe one game in the series goes over, Rays Athletics. Could today be the day? Yesterday, we did have something in this game in our parlay. We did cash our parlay of the day, which was both these two teams to score in the first 7. They got that done in the first 5. Today, they still went under 4-2. Jeffrey Springs versus Oswaldo Beto. Beto's been really good his last 2 starts, 0 earned runs. Could today be the day something falls off the wheels? I mean, he has a 2.5 earned runs line. Granted, juiced on the under, but 2.5 earned runs against the Tampa Bay Rays offense. You look at the splits right there, you'd be like, all right, I should maybe throw that in a parlay. On the flip side, Jeffrey Springs going on the road against an A's team we've talked about. It's been pretty good against left-handed pitching. Could today be the day this game finally goes over? I don't know if I'm personally going out there and betting it. I do kind of like the A's on the money line here. I really do like them against lefties, and we could see them maybe put up some damage against Jeffrey Springs, a guy that probably doesn't give him a ton of length here. Maybe I'll look at taking his under and outs depending on what line he's getting, but I do lean the A's on the money line here. I wouldn't be shocked if it goes over. I just don't know if it's my favorite. I want to go out there and bet the over here just because I want to do it. Next game, we have the Pirates taking on the Reds. I think this total is moving around down to 8, maybe 7.5 now. You got Paul Skeens going against Nick Lodolo. Obviously, the Pirates are going to be favored here. Paul Skeens now the underdog for winning NL Rookie of the Year, which is kind of nuts. Nick Lodolo, let's be honest, though, he has not been good recently. I mean, I'll pull up his splits. I know he's coming off a terrible game where he just faced the Royals. 8 earned runs in that one, but 3, 2, and then 8. So my intuition is he bounces back here. Did pitch against Pittsburgh back on June 18th, 7 innings, 1 earned run. So pretty solid outing there. I imagine he pitched against them last year, 5 innings, 2 earned runs. And then back in 2022, he pitched 6 1/3, 3 earned runs, and those were his starts against them in his career. So I think he could pitch decently here. Again, it is going to be fall skiing, so I'm not sure I want to run out there and back either of these teams. I'm probably just avoiding this game, if I'm being honest. Reds coming off that series against the Jays, put up a ton of runs in 2 of those 3 games. Now you get Skeens, who hasn't been as good lately, but still getting a lot of soft contact and things like that. I'd be hesitant to back like a Skeens outs prop because he could always be limited any day here. And it wouldn't shock me if Paul Skeens is shut down soon. I mean, what is the Pirates situation looking like in terms of making the playoffs? I mean, you go into standings, let's see. Right now in the wild card, you're seeing the Pirates, what are they? 8 games out of making the wild card. I mean, eventually you're going to shut it down because they're, 120 games in the season, 40 games left. Skeens, it's a GG. They're going to shut him down soon. Maybe this is one of his last 2 starts before they kind of hang it up there. Pittsburgh's been decent against lefties, though. I will note that. Next game, Angels and Blue Jays. Yesterday, Blue Jays put up a lot of runs. Obviously did not win. Today, they might have the debut of Jake Bloss. I put TBD there. He might be starting. Griffin Canning's been pretty trash, for being honest. And today he gets a pretty hot Toronto Blue Jays offense that obviously wrecked my Nick Martinez bet yesterday. I just don't know how you get there back in the Angels. I mean, look at their splits against righties. 30th. I mean, Jake Bloss is not my favorite righty. I don't think he's honestly that good, but he has the stuff to go out there and pitch well. Again, I don't know if he's going to start, so take that with a grain of salt. The only really calling for the Angels that their bullpen's been pretty good, so they are at least able to keep them in games for the most part, but their offense is absolutely terrible today. Just in general, they didn't even score yesterday. So I don't know how you'd want to back the Angels. I only would ever want to back them against the lefty, which who knows if they'll see a lefty in this series. Let's see. Let's check this schedule for maybe the Angels and see if they have any lefties on the horizon. I mean, off the top of my head, Blue Jays feel like a team that don't have a lot of lefties to their name. Let's see. They got Griffin Canning, Bassett, Bowden, Francis, Gosman. So not feeling good if I'm an Angels better here. No lefties coming from the Jays. Good luck, Angels. I wouldn't be shocked if they lose 3 of that 4-game series. Next game, Astros and Orioles, the beginning of this series. Spencer Arrighetti versus Corbin Burns. I'm not lying to you. Corbin Burns hasn't been good recently. I mean, if you look at his numbers, he's like, all right, not too bad. But Corbin Burns coming off his worst start of the year, was back in was that Red Sox start against the Red Sox, right? He gave up 8 earned runs. Last few starts, though, and then look at the last 5, really since the All-Star break. 3, 2, 4, 3, and 8 earned runs. He has a 9 ERA this month. Now, obviously inflated from the 8, but he hasn't been that great, if we're being honest. Hasn't had a lot of swing and miss stuff, which obviously is how you get to Houston. Houston's already seen him once back on June 22nd. They got up 5 hits, 4 earned runs, 2 homers in that game. That was at Houston. Houston also coming off a game where they couldn't do anything yesterday against Cooper Criswell. Maybe today is the day that I wouldn't honestly hit an over here. I could see maybe Houston choking up on the bats and finally putting the ball in play. And then Baltimore haven't been great versus righties, but I feel like they'll be able to hit Arrighetti. He had his couple Mickey Mouse starts where he had like 13 and 12 Ks. But outside of that, he hasn't been great. Baltimore has not seen him, though, yet this year. I normally like to back Baltimore when they've already seen guys. They normally are pretty good at making adjustments. Still, I think they do decently well here. I kind of like an over. I kind of like the Astros on a money line. I wouldn't be shocked if Arrighetti pitches decently and maybe Corbin Burns gives up his fair share of runs. And as I've talked about before, Baltimore's bullpen, absolutely terrible. We have 2 final games on the slate, Phillies and Braves. Christopher Sanchez versus Spencer Schwellenbach. Spencer, it's been decent. I'll give him that. The Phillies have seen him before. And Spencer being a rookie, wouldn't shock me if maybe Philly makes some adjustments. I mean, talk about they haven't got much production from Bryce Harper. I think he's hitless in 4 straight. And he also just got chirped by Orlando Arcia. Yeah, that was smart. Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, those guys were hitless yesterday. They still got a win. Today feels like a day the offense explodes. Christopher Sanchez, really bad on the road this year. And we see, I mean, Atlanta, not a high batting average versus lefties, but that OPS and WRC plus is off the charts. So they've been crushing lefties. And Spencer, the last time they saw him, I think they got 7 hits, only 1 earned run. Feel like while Philly hasn't been great against righties, sure, I think that they'll have the bats in there to get things going. And if I'm not mistaken, Spencer Schwellenbach also struggles against lefties, which we know that the Phillies have the ability to stack some lefties. Obviously, they'll always have Schwarber and Harper in there, but outside of that, they got guys like Marsh, they got Stott. Well, I kind of like those guys, whereas you look at, what's his name? Schwellenbach, 252 batting average allowed, 2 lefties, 745 OPS. Hasn't been as good at home as he has been on the road. Spencer's last few starts, last 3, 2, and 3 earned runs. He hasn't faced some great offenses, Marlins, Rockies, and Angels. Maybe the Phillies can get something going here. Like I said, he pitched against them at home on July 6th, 7 hits, 1 earned run. So in that game, they weren't able to get those timely hits. I mean, they went 1 for 5 runners in scoring position. Also, this was back when they didn't have a great lineup. Rojas is in here, Dahl, Marchand, Cody Clemens. A lot of guys injured here. They didn't even have Schwarber. That was back when they didn't have Schwarber or Harper. Now they have those guys. I feel like this is the game that I kind of like the over. Maybe you probably can get an 8 line. I kind of like an over in that game. There's been 2, low-scoring games so far in this series. Yesterday they had their opportunities. Today feels like a game that goes over. I mean, we've talked about so far the series 3-1, 3-2. Yesterday, I know they had plenty of chances. I mean, I guess the Phillies didn't have a lot. 0 for 2 runners in scoring position. Braves 0 for 6. I think today is the day you see a lot of runs. Don't call me crazy. Final game on the slate, Mets Padres. Luis Severino versus Dylan Cease. Now, Cease has a high K prop, which is always scary, but Cease is going to command that. Last start he had against the Mets, he gave up 7 earned runs. Severino, he is what he is. He's going to go out there, give up hits. It comes down to, can he get out of those jams? He's been able to do it sometimes this year. Padres are coming off a game. They get absolutely torched. They got smoked by the Twins there. They gave some of their guys basically days off. I think Manny Machado only had 1 or 2 at-bats. Same with Profar. Obviously, Padres have been really good against righties. I would like an over, though, in this spot at 7.5. I think Severino gives up his couple runs, 2 or 3. Comes down to the Mets. Can they put up some runs on Cease? They've obviously shown it before. I'm going to see if that's a 1-game sample size. Let's say Dylan Cease, game log versus Mets. Obviously, he gave up 7 earned runs, but back in 2019, he gave up 4, obviously a long time ago. Well, see if they can get something going. The Mets are never normally the team I want to trust a ton, but we know they have the bats, and I feel like against good pitchers, they normally show up. It's against the bad pitchers, like Cole Irvin, that you're like, I don't know if they're going to show up here. I feel like they could show up, though, against Dylan Cease. They have the lefties to kind of do some damage to him. Not sure I'll get involved in this game, but again, just something I'm kind of looking at. And then finally, let's wrap up the video talking about some hot and cold hitters. Guys that are hot, Weston Wilson. Not sure he's in the lineup today, but he's been swinging a hot bat. Aaron Judge, Marcell Ozuna, we got William Contreras, and then I had to give some credit to Spencer Torkelson, who obviously had a bad start to the year, but he has returned from the AAA, and he has been really, really good. So give him some credit. It's hard to do that. Go to AAA when the team kind of just says, hey, man, you're gonna be in trash for us, and then he comes back and hits pretty well. Guys that probably should go to AAA: Rhys Hoskins, Alex Verdugo, Harrison Bader, Stephen Kwan's been really bad. Adley Rutschman and Bryce Harper haven't been doing much for their squads. I think today could be the day for Bryce Harper, though. I'm not sure how back his base is, but I feel like anytime you chirp Bryce Harper like Orlando Arcia did last night, never a good look, which is kind of why I like an over there. I mean, they haven't gotten any production from those guys. Maybe today's the day for Bryce. Finally, let's wrap up the video. Talk about some guys in good and bad matchups. Nolan Arenado, the hero yesterday, walk-off grand slam. Pretty good splits versus Freddie Peralta, 10 for 31 with 4 homers in there. Ryan McMahon and Brendan Rodgers, 2 teammates against Corbin. Those are kind of average numbers against Corbin, if we're being honest. And William Contreras, one of the actually few Brewers have pretty good splits against Michaelis, 6 for 12. Not a lot of extra base hits in there, but still solid. Xander Bogaerts against Severino. He's kind of his dad, 3 for 29. Jeez, Severino's cooking you. Stallings, one of the only guys out there on the Nets or on the Rockies with not great splits against Corbin. Jesse Winker, the hero from yesterday, walk-off homer. He's 0 for 9 against Cease, and he'll be in the lineup today. Bryce Terang versus Miles Michaelis, 1 for 9. So again, maybe some guys you might want to avoid. I don't really know a lot of guys out there back in Jacob Stallings or Winker and whatnot, but maybe some guys you want to avoid if you're throwing some hit parlays together. But that's going to do it for Thursday's edition, August 22nd of the breakdown. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying these. I really do enjoy recording them and talking about all the games today. I felt like we dove into a little bit more into the games, looked at some pitching and more like stuff like that. I do want to note something I heard someone recommend in the comments yesterday. Sorry, I don't know exactly what it was. Maybe we put some K percentage. So maybe on like the Mets and Padres slide, or all the slides going forward, maybe we look at how the Mets are doing against righties in terms of strikeouts. Maybe if you're looking to build like a strikeout ladder, or maybe take some guys K prop over, or under. We'll probably add that. I just need to figure out how I want to add that into the graphic. So TBD on that. I'll probably try to figure out a way to add that in next week's video. So stay tuned for that. Tomorrow, I think we should have a college football video, first one of the year. And probably if you haven't been checking out the NFL futures, I'll give you a chance. I've been posting a bunch of them. I'll link a couple on the screen. Just had some fun talking about a record prop. But there's a bunch of YouTube shorts out there. I'll probably drop another one later on today, early afternoon, with another future bet that I do like. But again, I appreciate you guys for tuning in. When the Best Bets video is live, I'll link it on the screen as well. Try to go for another winning day. And I'll see you guys back again tomorrow for the final episode of the breakdown of the week. It's going to be Friday, beginning of a new series, and a full action-packed slate. I'll see you guys then. Peace.